team, thanks very much, and thanks for being here to see this wonderful monument to filmmaking that is the Chase Australia.
Tonight on 7 News, security tightened at airports as Queensland cracked down on visitors from Sydney, plus when flights from India will resume for Aussies.
Random attack, a man brutally bashed during a home invasion at Wilston.
5 pedestrians hit by a truck. The driver says he didn't know it had happened.
Motorists busted as police blitz our roads looking for drivers on drugs.
Redcliffe, Ipswich or East Brisbane? The battle intensifies to be Brisbane's next NRL team.
New tips for tax time, thousands of dollars in deductions for Aussies working from home.
And what a sight, the giant super yacht undergoing a record-breaking makeover on the Gold Coast.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharyn, Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. Our state's borders have been strengthened and a major crackdown's begun on travellers arriving from Sydney.
The harbour city recorded no new cases of community transmission today, but the COVID outbreak has people racing into Queensland, hoping Mother's Day plans won't be disrupted.
With Queensland borders still open, flights from Sydney remain packed, but security is noticeably bolstered. Police waiting at the gate for passengers as soon as they step off the plane.
The systems they had in place were good. We got told to go straight through to like a special area.
Under new screening measures, travellers have to scan a QR code asking them if they've been to any of the Sydney exposure venues listed on the link. Then more questions.
It has certain times and dates.
They're just getting everybody to screen their locations.
Lily Meek making the dash to Brisbane after a death in the family.
We're all just trying to jump through a whole bunch of hoops and hurdles at the moment and holding our breath and going, holy heck, I hope we're okay.
The trip has been a year in the making for Angel Fasu.
Everyone was pretty nervous and especially getting to this side and the thought of having to go in quarantine for 2 weeks. Yeah, it was quite daunting.
If new locations are added and they've visited them, they'll be required to go into hotel quarantine even after entering Queensland. There's still mystery in Sydney surrounding the sick couple carrying the same strain as a US traveller who was quarantining at the Park Royal Hotel at Darling Harbour.
I have full confidence in the disease detectives in New South Wales Health.
The government is holding off on any hard border closures for now, and despite no new local infections in Sydney today, Queenslanders are still being warned about travelling south.
The chances are we may see some more cases.
As they continue searching for the missing link, Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
The India travel ban will be lifted next Saturday. The federal government agreeing to restart repatriation flights with 1,000 of the most vulnerable Australians set to arrive home by the end of June. But with commercial flights still banned, it could be a long wait for thousands of others.
A beaming Scott Morrison gives the thumbs up for flights from India to resume.
Bring back the most urgent of cases.
Starting on May 15, an expected 6 repatriation flights, 3 to Darwin and 1 each to New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria. The most vulnerable given priority. All passengers required to test negative twice before boarding. Commercial flights still banned though, with no indication when they'll return. The PM says the controversial 3-week ban is doing its job, more than halving infection rates at Howard Springs.
It was the smart, sensible, wise and compassionate thing to do.
But the threat of jail for those who defied the ban left many stranded Australians asking, what compassion?
Suddenly, this passport, my existence as an Australian citizen, doesn't really matter to them.
Being tough on citizens, especially the vulnerable citizens, is weak, not strong.
For the 40 Australian cricketers, commentators and coaches who escaped to the Maldives overnight,
the daily number of COVID-19 cases reported in the Maldives has hit a new record.
They've flown into an island nation with a nightly curfew and a soaring infection rate. Just a 3.5-hour flight from the subcontinent, where the daily number of new infections has soared past 400,000 for the 3rd time. With its health system teetering on the brink of collapse, Scott Morrison spoke to India's Prime Minister Modi this afternoon, offering to send more essential medical supplies, with a second plane load expected to arrive next week. From London, Foreign Minister Marise Payne rejected suggestions abandoning 9,000 Australians in India placed an unfair drain on a system in crisis.
Surely that is embarrassing, Minister.
I absolutely disagree with the premise of your question, and I absolutely disagree.
Rob Scott, 7 News.
A man has been seriously injured in a brutal random attack on Brisbane's north side this morning. Mackenzie Rawn, he suffered serious head injuries.
Max, the 68-year-old is in a critical condition here at the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital following the home invasion at Wilston around 7 this morning. It's understood he tried to fight the thief off before the pair ended up in the unit block's driveway. That's where the alleged attacker bashed the man with a brick.
Forensic examiners are processing the scene as we speak to gather any evidence that they can.
The alleged attacker, a 39-year-old Mitchelton man, was found at the scene. It's understood he was kicking on other unit doors when police arrived and took him into custody. He's since been charged with numerous offences, including attempted murder, and will front court tomorrow.
Thank you, Mackenzie. A Melbourne truck driver is in custody, maintaining he didn't know he'd hit 5 people and drove on, leaving them seriously injured. The pedestrians were standing on a footpath when they were struck by his B-double tanker. A warning. Images in this report are confronting.
The agony of trapped pedestrians as others frantically scramble to lift a fallen traffic pole. 5 people were pinned underneath.
Everything went silent for about 5 to 10 seconds, so we didn't know what to do. And our brains were just trying to understand what happened.
Daniel Fousen helped carry an injured woman out of the crush of bodies.
And she just kept telling me, am I going to be okay? Is my legs going to be okay? Am I going to be able to walk again?
City workers rushed to help paramedics treat the injured. Minutes earlier, 4 men and a woman were waiting to cross the road when a B-double truck mounted the curb and mowed them down. The driver didn't stop.
You would know that you would run over something and that you would at least stop. Even if infrastructure was damaged, you'd have to at least stop. And in this case, he didn't.
How could you leave a scene like that? I can tell you right now, it was like a bomb went off. Like it was that loud when he struck the traffic light and it fell on the people.
An alert motorist followed the truckie, passing on his number plate details to police. Detectives tracked the truck to a depot in Truganina. The 65-year-old driver was then arrested at his Wyndham Vale home.
Part of our investigation is to determine whether he actually knew what had occurred. This sort of event, you would know that you'd taken out at least the power pole or the traffic control signal.
The Power Street and City Road intersection is chaotic.
There's been too many close calls that I've come across myself, even just by standing there trying to cross the road.
I absolutely acknowledge that our residents have been raising this with us for time. It is a state government road. We have been in discussions with state government about working together on solutions for that road, immediate and in the longer term.
But any improvement is too late for the victims of last night's horror. Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
Jared Hayne has begun appeal proceedings a day after he was jailed for rape. But it's some of his supporters now under investigation by police for wild scenes outside court where Hayne's victim was allegedly spat on.
After Jared Hayne was jailed,
You gotta move, bro.
it's what then happened outside court that now has police attention.
What the bloody hell's wrong with you?
A confrontation between Hayne's supporters escorting his wife and the media turning physical, court officers rushing in. Earlier, this man was seen spitting towards Hayne's rape victim.
Yeah, he spat on that.
Okay.
Police know who he is and say they have a case against him.
Those things were disgusting, not acceptable and not the Australia that I know.
Police Minister David Elliott says detectives have the footage they need to act.
They might want to present themselves to the police before the police present themselves to them.
With outrage at the thought of a rape victim being targeted.
This young woman was so courageous going through our justice system, so to have this happen to her outside the courtroom is disgraceful.
Supporting Hayne, former teammate Tony Williams posted, "Want to congratulate the victim and the so-called justice system. You've sent an innocent brotherly to jail." which has now seen Williams sacked by his new club in New York, which has condemned the comments. Krishnan Inu also slammed after referring to the so-called victim and posting, "Don't think justice was served." As Jared Hayne spends his first full day of what could be more than 5 years in custody as a convicted rapist, his legal team has already lodged its intention to appeal. The NRL says it will wait before deciding whether to now strip Hayne of his Dally M honours.
The Commission will make their call once the legal process has been exhausted and completed.
Paul Kadak, 7 News.
The Gold Coast's light rail project has been handed a lifeline after a major cost blowout, an almost $130 million funding boost to extend the service to Burleigh.
A confident-looking Gold Coast mayor stepping off the light rail, knowing plans are back on track. A funding lifeline for Stage 3, extending tracks to Burleigh.
The Morrison government supporting that with a commitment of $126.6 million.
The project given a boost after contract negotiations stalled.
Light rail has been an incredible success story on the Gold Coast. More than 55 million trips already from stages 1 and 2.
A success story, but the sequel's been a long time in the making. Work on Stage 3 had been planned to wrap up by late 2022. It hasn't even started and would still take 3.5 years to build.
It's the 6th largest city in the whole country, easily the 2nd largest city in Queensland. And what we're seeing is that 88% of net migration over the next few years is projected to be people coming to Queensland.
Urgently needed and still underfunded. The extra funding takes the commitment from both the state and federal governments to around $750 million, more than what was initially needed for the project. But since the 2018 business case, costs have blown out, the state blaming inflation. The government won't say how much the final project will cost taxpayers.
The cost of labour is going up because the jobless rate is coming down. So, there has been an increase in costs.
All to keep the Gold Coast moving. Jordan Bissell, 7 News.
Detectives have marched a sex assault suspect back to Sydney over allegations of an attack in the early hours of Anzac Day. The 31-year-old was arrested in Brisbane and is facing 6 counts of aggravated sexual assault. Police allege he and 2 friends met a woman at a home where the group sexually assaulted her. All 3 have now been arrested. The race to build Queensland's 4th NRL team has begun. There are 3 contenders: Redcliffe, Ipswich and East Brisbane. One team even has the backing of 2 political rivals.
Wearing the same cap, political foes on the same team. First separated by the Moreton Bay Mayor, then side by side for an awkward photo, all in the name of rugby league. Supporting the Moreton Bay Dolphins' bid to join the NRL.
Peter and I both grew up around here. We went to the same school. We know this area really well, and there are lots and lots of things we agree on.
We want to make sure that we get the best possible outcome for our region.
This won't be another second Brisbane team. This will be the Moreton Bay region team, right up to the Sunshine Coast.
Marking the final dash to be the coveted 17th NRL club. The Brisbane Firehawks bid is backed by the Coorparoo-based Tigers.
We want more kids playing rugby league. We want more fans coming on.
The bid will include feeder teams from 6-year-olds up. Shay Dela Cruz hopes an expansion of the women's competition too.
It's given a lot of opportunities, and then as you can see through the grassroots, there's so many young girls playing at the moment.
The third bid from the Brisbane Jets has a community focus, appealing to the Western Corridor from Ipswich to Toowoomba.
Winning over the hearts and minds of the people by doing great work in the community for them and making their lives better.
The bid teams now have around about a month to put in their final submissions to the NRL Chiefs. Steve Titmus, 7 News.
Our trade and diplomatic spats are one thing, but tonight there's a chance a 22-tonne Chinese rocket could be headed our way. It's one of the biggest pieces of space junk ever. It's out of control and set to crash to Earth this weekend.
What started as a routine rocket launch now has the world on edge.
There is real concern at NASA tonight about a huge chunk of Chinese space junk.
China's largest rocket successfully hoisted the first module of the country's prized new space station last week, but the re-entry is proving problematic.
We don't know where it's going to land.
They show the rocket body, hitting the atmosphere just west of Australia, but the blue and yellow lines are uncertainty. In other words, it's just too soon to say.
In 1979, fragments of an American space station crashed through the Earth's atmosphere, hitting Esperance in Western Australia.
I'm sure you remember 1979 Skylab parties where everybody wore their helmets. I would recommend you get yours.
Scientists say the rocket's 30-metre core, the Long March 5B booster, should have followed a flight path into the ocean. But that didn't happen, and they're now bracing for one of the largest ever uncontrolled re-entries.
We're certainly tracking its location through US Space Command.
That command at Vandenberg Air Force Base here in California may be monitoring the rocket, but they say they won't be able to narrow down the exact re-entry point until just hours prior, and the US government has no plans to take it out.
At this point, we don't have a plan to shoot the rocket down. We're hopeful that it will land in a place where it won't harm anyone, hopefully in the ocean or someplace like that.
In the United States, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Let's get a quick check of the weather now. Here's Bertie.
Yeah. Max, you just don't know where it's going to fall, my friend. I'm looking above it. G'day, everybody. Great day today. The weekend, I can't really say much more than that. It's going to be absolutely stunning. Today's temperatures, have a look at that. It's at around that 25 degrees on the Gold Coast. 26 is the average high across the entire southeast. Did drop to about 13 degrees last night in the city. It climbed to a high of 27 degrees out there at Ipswich. Now, tomorrow, as I mentioned, is great. Sunday, Mother's Day. Can't get any better than that. Let's take a look at that later. I'll be back soon with more weather.
All right, thank you, Bertie. Well, cracking down on drug drivers, the major police blitz catching motorists putting lives at risk. Only 7 News is there.
Through crisis and catastrophe, the amazing Queenslanders recognised for acts of bravery.
A delicate operation to remove a crane which crushed homes on the Sunshine Coast.
And before weather, the alarming link between osteoporosis and heart disease in women.
Afford to go down with the ship.
I'm not going home without a fight.
Oh my God.
I'm fighting for myself.
A handshake means very little in here.
It is eat or be eaten.
An unforgettable week of Big Brother starts Sunday at 7 on 7.
From the moment I laid eyes on you, this is what I said, I see it, and I like it.
How to get the lounge room done so fast? With Nimble. Not Nibble, Rodney. Nimble. Nimble puts me in control of my money. And quickly. So when you chewed through the wiring, I was ready. And I had options, Rodney, because Nimble has a solution for every man and his rabbit. So we can all achieve financial freedom sooner. Fast and simple. That's Nimble.
Fifi! Teddy! Jana!
If you really like dogs, you want to give them triple protection against fleas and ticks, intestinal worms, and deadly heartworm. So, if you're a dog person, you're a Simparica Trio person too.
Great job, boys.
Car wash costs more now.
But with my Toyota's service, the price doesn't change for 5 years. I'm still feeling it.
And you can book your capped price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Vaseline's expertise in rescuing dry skin starts with moisturising glycerin and replenishing pro-lipids, the ultimate rescue ingredients in our new Vaseline Expert Care range. Rescues dry skin from first use. New Vaseline Expert Care.
Shut up and take my money.
Nothing like a party in the summertime. Nothing like seeing you, baby, looking so fine. Ooh, nothing like a party.
At Harvey Norman, spoil mum with the perfect gift. Save $80 on this Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, now $468. Garmin Phoenix GPS smartwatch, half price at $574. Cricut Maker Bundle with toolkit and materials included, $598. The new Samsung Galaxy A72 256GB, $749. Or the HP Envy X360 2-in-1 laptop, $1,498. Something for every mum. Now at Harvey Norman.
It's like wrapping yourself in a really soft, beautiful blanket. It's just lovely.
It's so luxurious.
$18.
Wow.
Alarming new figures have revealed almost 1 in 5 drivers tested for illicit drugs returns a positive result. 7 News was given exclusive access to a police blitz in Castledine, which netted an alleged drug driver within the first few minutes.
She might have blown zero, but this driver isn't out of the woods.
Gently drag it down to the tip of your tongue. That's it, pull it down.
Selected for a drug test, she awaits the results.
Now that can take anywhere from 1 minute to 6 minutes.
Red lines appear.
One for methamphetamine and one for cannabis. Then after that, we're looking for a red line to appear beside that. So as you can see, we have had a positive result.
She's asked to step away from her car for a second test, which takes up to 40 minutes.
A double positive for cannabis and for methamphetamine.
The 38-year-old from Marsden is handed a notice to appear in court, banned from driving for 24 hours and her sample sent to a laboratory for more testing.
Well, I suppose it's similar to drink driving as well, where it really does impede your reaction time.
Over the long weekend, 1 in 100 drivers breathalyzed were over the limit, while almost 1 in 5 drug tested was positive.
That's because we're a little bit more selective with our drug testing.
The test's expensive and more time-consuming. Unlike an alcohol breath test, a drug swab can't tell how intoxicated a driver is, but the mere presence of a drug will land them in court.
People who are unimpaired are being picked up using the current drug detection methods.
Cannabis can stay in saliva for several days, but a University of Sydney study found the effects don't last as long.
We found that THC-induced impairment lasted anywhere from between 3 and 10 hours.
Researchers say behavioural tests could be more accurate.
Computerised cognitive tasks and things like that.
For now, police enforce zero-tolerance laws.
This test can be done anywhere, anytime, to anyone.
For the safety of everyone on the road. Alex Lewis, 7 News.
An 80-tonne crane has been removed a week after it fell through the roofs of 3 Sunshine Coast properties. Larger cranes were called in to help lift the extended boom, which is around 50 metres long. It was bent in 2 places, making the removal process even more difficult. Residents of the impacted houses may not be able to return to their homes for months.
They're the Queenslanders who suddenly find themselves in moments of crisis or catastrophe, but instead of standing by or walking away, they step in to help. Today, they were given our state's highest honour by the Governor, celebrating their bravery and courage.
A car hurtling so fast into a light pole it split in 2. Inside were Candice and her sister Sammy Jo, who'd been drinking heavily at the Currumbin Surf Club. They lost control on the Gold Coast Highway, the impact killing Sammy Jo. Elizabeth Adams was there and today was given a bravery medal for pulling Candice from the flaming driver's seat. On the 5th of February 2015, Senior Constable Davies and Constable Siddle became involved in a dangerous high-speed chase along the Pacific Highway. They deployed road spikes, were shot at before pinning the offenders to the ground. Dr Samantha Nady honoured too for helping rescue 18 passengers and a driver after their bus rolled off an embankment in the Lamington National Park in 2019.
I remember getting to the bottom of the cliff and seeing the bus on its side being held up by 2 little sapling trees with smoke coming out of the engine, and just I remember dead silence. No one was screaming, no one was crying, it was just quiet.
Today's award recipients say they were just doing what anyone else would have done, but it's because of their extraordinary actions in the heat of the moment that so many Queenslanders' lives have been saved.
We saw people in need and we just jumped into action.
Katrina Blowers, 7 News.
Researchers from the University of Queensland have uncovered an innovative way to prevent a wide range of scars by targeting the gene that causes excess skin tissue to form at a wound site.
Blood vessels, they're sort of at a crossroad between staying a blood vessel or turning into scar tissue, and we found the molecules that actually govern that decision.
Already successful on animals, it's hoped the discovery will lead to a gel that can be instantly applied to burns and trauma injuries.
It's about to undergo a major makeover. Next, the huge $82 million super yacht docked on the Gold Coast.
New tips for tax time, what you can claim for working from home.
A bank heist straight out of a movie. How officers saved the hostages.
And after sport, the last-minute rush to spoil mum this Mother's Day.
The crucifixion was so brutal and thorough.
He's been abandoned by everybody.
I was public enemy number one.
Charges of assault.
This is what I struggle with and what I've struggled with for 3.5 years.
I've just waited for the day that I can speak.
In this post-Weinstein, #MeToo world gone mad, I can't win.
When life gives you how did that get under there-iness, Godfrey's gives you cleanliness. With up to 50 minutes runtime across 2 rechargeable batteries, the award-winning Wordtime Evolution is now $699. Save $100. Godfrey's cleanliness.
Ned's Same Race Multi is available every day on all 3 racing codes. Pump up your odds by selecting 2 to 4 runners to finish inside the top 4. Use Ned's Same Race Multi on the South Australian Derby this Saturday. Take it to the Ned's level.
Water is a precious resource and it connects us all. So, stay on your toes and sweep, not hose. Watering the garden, mate? Let's do it early or late. And all done in the bathroom? Use the half flush. Boom. There's many a way everyone can save water every day. For more tips and info, visit seqwater.com.au today.
Kia, movement that inspires.
The Scarly Lounge sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of lounges, sofas and recliners. The Nick Scarly Lounge sale, on now at all stores.
Perfect lawn and more time for garden projects. Robotic mowers by Stihl, only from your local Stihl dealer.
Take South Australian Derby Day to the Ned's level. Back a horse in races 1 to 6 at Morfettville this Saturday, and if it runs second or third, get up to $50 back in bonus bets. Take it to the Ned's level.
More Queenslanders trust RACQ to insure their car when it matters most. With access to local claims support, plus our network of local repairers, choose RACQ Car Insurance, because membership makes all the difference.
On Weekender, feast your eyes on these beauties.
A festival that celebrates all things big and small.
Sunday, 5:30 on 7.
A supersized effort is underway on the Gold Coast to refurbish a giant super yacht owned by a British lord. It'll take half a year and hundreds of workers to make the Lady Christine shine, bringing an economic boost just as big.
Under wraps, still a boat this big is hard to miss. 68 metres, 4 decks, worth $82 million. The Lady Christine is luxury.
Lady Christine has come in from Indonesia for this work, specifically come here to do it.
The super yacht is undergoing a multi-million-dollar facelift at the Coomera Marine Precinct, expected to take 6 months, creating 200 jobs. The cover is made up of 6 square kilometres of plastic and 300 kilometres of PVC piping.
It's the biggest ever encapsulation of this scale in Australian history.
It's owned by British billionaire Lord Irvin Laidlaw and could be fit for Hollywood royalty. It's rumoured Julia Roberts and George Clooney will stay on board while shooting their latest blockbuster in Queensland, a sign the super yacht industry is thriving.
There will be more super yachts sailing our way. The state government now allowing certain luxury vessels to enter Queensland from New Zealand without having to quarantine.
We can provide proof that all the crew members on board, if they've been in New Zealand for longer than 14 days, then it's available to them.
And already arriving at marinas across the state.
As a general rule, the international boats are a lot larger and they spend a lot more.
Keeping a lucrative industry afloat. Georgia Terry, 7 News.
Britain and France sent military ships to the English Channel today in a post-Brexit flashpoint. Both countries were trying to stamp their authority in a dispute over fishing.
Those on land said it felt like an invasion. 60 French vessels arriving at Jersey's port of St Helier, fishermen furious over their post-Brexit rights. They were met with some resistance. While 2 Navy gunboats dispatched by Downing Street monitored the protest and locals put on a show. Many of the vessels have operated in these waters for generations. Brexit ended old agreements. Despite its proximity to France, Jersey's foreign policy is governed by the UK. Under the new system, French fishermen must prove their history here to gain a fishing licence. What will happen, he says, is that 80% of French boats will disappear, fearing for their livelihoods.
The French government is not prepared to be bullied by the British government by these new rules and regulations.
After a standoff lasting several hours, the fishermen retreated home and the Royal Navy vessels returned to port. But the dispute isn't over. The British government says it'll support Jersey in discussions currently underway with the European Union. With a chance the fiery fleet could be back. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
Bank employees have been freed after becoming hostages in a terrifying hold-up. Over 8 hours, the suspect released 5 staff, one by one, all met with applause from a crowd of onlookers across the street. The final hostage ran from the door. An FBI team marched the suspect out in handcuffs, identified as a customer upset about a prior transaction. Other customers had already fled the building.
At least 25 people have died in a fierce shootout deep inside a Brazilian slum. Police and heavily armed gang members suspected of recruiting children went to war. Some were seen trying to escape across rooftops as bullets flew. One policeman died in the prolonged gun battle. 2 passengers on a passing train were hit but survived. Officers say it's the deadliest police operation in Rio de Janeiro's history.
Millions of Australians working from home during the pandemic are in for a tax time bonanza. The ATO confirming it will keep a scheme that allows deductions to be grouped together, meaning potentially thousands of dollars in tax savings.
For all the lockdowns and Zoom calls over the past year, now a silver lining at tax time.
Through the pandemic, it's been quite consistent, and about 41% of people have been working from home at least one day a week.
Those people will now be eligible for an 80-cent per hour work-from-home deduction in this year's tax return.
Oh, it's a big win, yeah. It makes it really easy. All you really need to do is make sure you know how many hours you worked at home, and you have that recorded some way.
And it adds up. For someone on a 38-hour week, they could claim close to $1,600. The Council of Trade Unions, though, says many of us ended up working more.
40% of people were actually doing additional hours and on top of what they would have done in the workplace.
The deductions to cover the cost of electricity, including heating and lighting, depreciation of home office equipment and technology, and the cost of telephone and internet. It doesn't cover personal expenses or the rent or mortgage on your home. But it's not all good news. The ATO says it will be cracking down on people claiming travel expenses and the cost of using your personal car for work purposes in the past year. It's also expected the low and middle income tax offset will continue this year. Cameron Price, 7 News.
The fight to save the southeast struggling koala population. How new technology is being used to monitor the marsupials around Moreton Bay.
Why there's a flock of drones soaring high above Surfers Paradise.
Busted the politician caught zooming while driving.
And Dreamworld's new $32 million roller coaster hits a major milestone.
Freedom of information is what Queensland News is about. Only 7 News has an exclusive TV FOI unit, shining the light, breaking the stories others simply can't.
What stunning revelation brought this murder trial to a halt?
A twist that will make world news.
Crime Investigation Australia, Sunday on 7.
I'd say good morning, Australia. But is it? We're filling our lives with unfulfilling stuff. It's time to wake the fake up to something genuinely satisfying.
Excess fluff won't fulfill you, Greg.
Trendy green goop. Try something with substance. Now, here's a feed that won't leave you feeling empty. Get wholesome goodness with Australia's favourite Uncle Toby's Oats. For goodness sake.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're here to help this winter. That's why pharmacists like Bridget are trained to administer flu vaccinations right here in store. Book now. Walk-ins also available. Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
Fantastic furniture. Find your fantastic.
Get your Woolies worth with great specials on family favourites, like Australian lamb leg roast, just $12 a kilo, save $2 a kilo.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Space is what you make of it. The new Ford Puma is proof that being compact doesn't have to be a compromise. It can lead to bigger things, punchier things, smarter things, safer things. And another thing which is kind of a big deal, introducing the 2021 Drive Car of the Year Best Light SUV, Ford Puma. Expect big things.
Your radiance comes alive.
Receive your free limited edition bangle when you spend $150 on Pandora jewellery. Available for a limited time only while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Nutrilife helps build your inner defence, with the S-to-C range giving you the long-lasting confidence of a 24-hour vitamin C, so you can be fit for life. Nutrilife.
With RACQ Comprehensive Car Insurance, know you're covered, whatever the weather. Plus, save $50 when you buy online. More Queenslanders choose RACQ Car Insurance, because membership makes all the difference.
Get ready for the grand final rematch. Richmond versus Geelong. Live and free. Next up on 7 Mate.
To finance now, the Australian share market ended the week on a high. It racked up its fourth gain in 5 days, with strong results from banking and mining stocks. The ASX 200 gaining 19 points. Tech stocks lost out this week, with Xero falling almost 3% and Afterpay dropping by $4. Mining stocks came out on top, with Rio Tinto up $1.35 thanks to rising iron ore prices. The Aussie dollar is buying 77 US cents and $1.07 New Zealand. Drones that drop floaties to swimmers in trouble are being rolled out across the Gold Coast. The technology sends an alert to lifesavers who rescue the person and ferry them to safety. It's hoped it will save lives after 18 deaths on Queensland beaches this season. The robots can also be programmed to recognise dangerous animals such as sharks. They're instantly recognisable as a symbol of our sunburnt country, but koala numbers are declining in many parts of Australia. Moreton Bay is bucking the trend, the area's population more than doubling in less than 4 years.
Spotted Oyster the koala.
Ah, there he is, up there.
His mates, April and Whitey too, settled in suburbia despite being surrounded by major development, the mill at Moreton Bay.
Definitely pinging from that big blue. Must be high.
Their population is thriving, protected thanks to these purpose-built high-tech trackers, which enable the Endeavour Veterinary Ecology team to monitor each koala's movements.
It gives us information about behavioural interactions. When they start to disperse off-site, it will identify the dispersal routes, so then we can interact with council and talk about protection measures in certain areas if there are hotspots for road crossings, for example.
18-month-old Viper was fitted with one this morning. Orphaned when his mum died from chlamydia, he's been in foster care, now well enough to be released into the wild.
In just under 4 years, the koala population here has more than doubled from 45 to 106.
It's also one of the most rapidly growing areas in southeast Queensland, so we do need to find, I guess, a better way to work together. And I think this program has really demonstrated the sort of success that we can have.
Technology and teamwork helping protect an Aussie icon. Emily Arnold, 7 News.
Dreamworld's most expensive ride is rapidly taking shape. The final piece of the steel taipan loop was installed today. The $32 million roller coaster is expected to become the theme park's next favourite.
And the train will come out of this loop and be plunged into darkness and then back out into the course of the track. So we're really excited to announce that today.
It's due to open at the end of the year after carriages arrive from Germany. At first glance, it appears he's zoomed in from home until colleagues spotted this Ohio senator's seatbelt. Turns out he'd been caught zooming and driving. Scrolling back to the start, it's clear he did begin clearly sitting in his car and is seen changing the background. The state senator says he was paying attention to the road, but his multitasking coincided with the introduction of a local distracted driving bill.
Two of the biggest health problems facing women might just go hand in hand. The link discovered between osteoporosis and heart disease and how it could lead to a treatment breakthrough. That story is just ahead on 7 News, but just ahead now is Friday Sport with Pat.
Thank you, Sharon. Hello, everyone. Coming up, Ash Barty has another title in her sights. League's second Queensland derby in a week. Kevin Walters promised fans he will deliver. Xavier Coates and a star halfback to the club. And it's all on the line at Suncorp. The Reds chase revenge in the Super Rugby decider.
We begin with breaking news.
When it happens, when it matters,
you will know.
Know the News. 7 News with Sharyn, Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Think running into your ex is awkward?
Hi, Milo.
Try being arrested by them.
As much as it pains me to say this, I gotta take you to jail.
Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler in the criminally funny romantic comedy The Bounty Hunter. Tonight, 8:30 on 7.
The Good Guys Doorbuster deals are on now. 100 off this Hitachi TV. This Salt dishwasher only $348. This Philips air fryer $149. Plus 41% off this Swan security system. Doorbuster deals only at The Good Guys.
For the mum who's your rock, the woman who knows every little piece of you from your head to your toes, give a Mother's Day gift that says clear and true, everywhere and always, Mum, we love you. Michael Hill, Wear for Love.
Get your Woolies worth with Delivery Unlimited. Sign up today and get unlimited deliveries and a free 30-day trial.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Let life challenge you, not your skin. Olay Power Duo. For plumper and more radiant skin from day one. Fearless, face more.
The Scarly Lounge sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of lounges, sofas and recliners. The Nick Scarly Lounge sale, on now at all stores.
3, 2, 1, go!
What about that dessert she made?
She tried really hard.
Yeah, you tried hard to keep a straight face.
I was really glad that the dessert was optional.
Shh, easy girl, almost home.
All new Hyundai Tucson. Imagine tomorrow's car today.
Try new Red Rock deli-style crackers.
An inspirational escape with ideas to style up any garden.
A beautiful and romantic landscape.
New Better Homes, next up on 7.
A bullish Kevin Walters has declared his club will re-sign Xavier Coates and recruit the players they need to become a powerhouse again. Ahead of tomorrow's derby with the Cowboys, the coach is adamant he has a plan and it will be followed through.
Brisbane in Townsville attempting a rare feat for this Broncos era. Back-to-back wins. The last time it happened was prior to COVID shutting down the competition.
I can assure everyone, all of our Broncos fans and members, that we've got a really strong plan here at the Broncos, now and into the future.
The first bullet point in that plan, re-signing Xavier Coates.
I believe he'll stay at the Broncos. We are a big club, we're a powerful club, and we will get the players that we need here.
Yet the Storm privately believe the 20-year-old will join them on a 2-year deal. Brisbane CEO Dave Donaghy held crisis talks with the Wingers management late today.
Moving in the right direction as a club, I can assure you of that, and Xavier is a part of that, so we'd love him, to be part of our future plans here at the Broncos.
The coach unsure if Milford should be sketched onto his blueprint.
The ball's in Anthony's court on where his future is, certainly. That'll be a decision that Anthony makes.
The derby failing to stir emotions this week, but the Cowboys brought in former captain Matt Scott to rev up the team.
He's a legend of our club, so I think he's a very smart and articulate person, and he'll get his message across to the team about what this game means.
Gold Coast, the only Queensland club inside the 8, but trying to halt a 3-game losing streak.
Defended together. As I said after the game, I thought we attacked as a team and defended by ourselves.
Big Tino returns from suspension. Holbrook believes he's a future Maroons captain.
Oh, definitely. For a young guy, as I said, he's only just turned 21 and, he sets some unbelievable standards, not just for himself, for everyone around him.
Chris Gary, 7 News.
Got what we deserve. We've been heading that way in the last couple of weeks.
All up, he'd score 6, a slice of history, the first player to rack up half a dozen in first grade in 71 years. The final score 50-0. And it's more of the same for the Panthers tonight against the Sharks. 8 from 8 so far this season. They're already well on track to continue the perfect start. The message is plain and simple from James O'Connor. Pack Suncorp to the rafters, wear red and make as much noise as possible, because every Queenslander at tomorrow night's Super Rugby decider will count. This wasn't in the script, but as the Brumbies rumbled in fashionably late, the Queensland skipper momentarily was in sole possession of the trophy, a spot he intends adopting around 10 tomorrow night.
There's always mind games in footy, but for us, it's whoever wants it more tomorrow night. It's a final. History doesn't matter.
Not even the fact that Queensland's beaten the reigning champs twice this year.
We know how to close out games now. We know how to win those sort of tight games.
Skipper for most of the season, now there's an air of statesman around the former wild child.
I have a lot of confidence in my group, in my team, in my men.
But the Reds don't have a mortgage on emotion.
To come out here to win a final away from home in front of a sold-out crowd, mate, it'll be huge and one of our finest memories yet.
40,000 expected, not sold out yet. But if O'Connor had his way, it would be.
For sure, having that many people supporting us, it is a weapon. We'll feel that. that's energy behind us.
The season becomes even more frenetic after this, a Trans-Tasman series and confirmation today 3 tests in 11 days against France. Both sides will carry squads of 35 plus.
The other thing we've just got to make sure is we don't have players just sort of standing around for 3 weeks and just holding tackle bags.
Brisbane hosts the 3rd test on July 17. Ash Barty is on track to claim her first Madrid Open title. The world #1 extended her clay court wins to 16 straight, cruising into the final with a 6-4, 6-3 win over Paula Badosa. Fellow Aussie Alex de Minaur was beaten in straight sets by Austria's Dominic Thiem in the round of 16. Rafael Nadal's through to his 15th Madrid quarter-final, downing Australian Alexei Poprin. The King of Clay was honoured as the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year moments later. One of the great champions of the Australasian turf, 14-time Group 1 Melody Bell, starts her farewell tour on the Gold Coast tomorrow. She's in a superstar-laced Group 2 Hollandale Stakes.
We'd like to see it as a Group 1, and we think that the field we've assembled here today on Saturday will certainly, be of a Group 1 standard. Melody Bell only adds to that with her record.
It'll be nostalgic for the great Kiwi mare's connections. Her first Aussie win was in Queensland, the sire's produce at Eagle Farm 4 years ago. Of course, we'll have all the AFL and the racing on 7.
There's a lot happening. All right, thank you, Pat. Queenslanders are getting ready to shower mums with plenty of love this Mother's Day.
Chefs have designed special menus while shops are packed with people picking the perfect gift.
Flowers in every colour and combination.
She'll love them. She loves flowers.
Rockleaf flower markets filled with the perfect bouquets to make her day.
My mum, she absolutely deserves it.
People are changing their buying habits and they're realising the markets is you get a better buy.
With only 2 sleeps until Mother's Day, some shoppers made a quick gift choice.
Some flowers and some perfume.
Some pyjamas, PJs.
Others couldn't decide.
Just a gift card so she can make a decision on what she's getting.
This year's Mother's Day will look a lot different to last year's, with more relaxed COVID-19 restrictions in place. Operators expect the city's cafes, restaurants and bars to be full to capacity all day. Wait staff at Copper are bracing for the influx.
It's a wonderful bounce back for us and we're very happy with how everything's come back to life.
The river will be busy too, with brunch on offer aboard the Kookaburra River Queens.
Think beautiful Belgian waffles, smoked salmon, fresh fruits. In the afternoon we have a lovely high tea cruise and a lunch cruise as well.
But no matter how you choose to spend the day,
Just quiet with family, yeah.
be sure to say thank you.
For all the running around she does for us.
Thank you for buying me food.
Crystal Etherington, 7 News.
Your boys will spoil you, won't they?
Yeah, I'm going to my son's soccer game. That's how I'm spending Mother's Day. That's what we mothers do.
New research reveals a worrying link between brittle bones and serious heart issues in women. That's next.
And we are set for a fantastic weekend ahead. Mother's Day looking spectacular as well. Details after the break.
On Weekend Sunrise, the Bank of Burden. Mums and dads lending more to their children than ever before. How to guarantee you're doing the right thing. Saturday, 7 a.m.
From the moment I laid eyes on you, this is what I said, I see it, and I like it, and I want it, yes I do.
Ned's Same Race Multi is available every day on all 3 racing codes. Pump up your odds by selecting 2 to 4 runners to finish inside the top 4. Use Ned's Same Race Multi on the South Australian Derby this Saturday. Take it to the Ned's level.
There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air, wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow
Should have gone to Specsavers. Get $150 off multifocals.
Breathe new life into your home with Beacon's new winter collection at 30% off your second item. Mix and match from our entire range and get 30% off your second. Sale on now.
40th birthday. Excellent choice. Now, let's talk Father's Day.
Mother's Day next.
We're going to need a bigger pegboard.
Mother's Day, made by OnePlus Grow your mum's Ryobi One Plus collection.
Ryobi.
For over 200 years, we've been delivering to your letterbox.
G'day.
Well, now we're delivering new, great value home and car insurance. Australia Post.
Take the NRL to the Neds level with a same-game multi-bonus pack. This Thursday and Friday, place a 3 or more leg same-game multi on the NRL, and if one leg fails, get up to $50 back in bonus bets. Take it to the Neds level.
This Mother's Day, give Mum gifts that keep on giving.
Intrigued to try this.
Beef ragu that'll have mouths watering.
Total indulgence.
And an inspirational escape.
Breathtaking.
With ideas to style up any garden.
A beautiful and romantic landscape.
New, better homes. Next up on 7.
Two of the biggest health issues facing women, osteoporosis and cardiovascular disease, have been linked in a major new study. Researchers have found women with brittle bones are more likely to have a heart attack or stroke.
High blood pressure, hypertensive heart disease, osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. A rough bill of health, but not bad for 95.
I'm elderly, that's the thing. And I'm on high blood pressure medication. I'm on a lot of stuff.
Now a new study has found that for many older women, brittle bones and a weak heart go hand in hand.
It's the largest of its kind in looking at the association between osteoporosis and heart and stroke.
The study tracked the health of more than 12,000 women aged between 50 and 80 for 9 years and found those with low bone density were up to 38% more likely to have a heart attack or stroke, while those diagnosed with osteoporosis had an 80% increased risk of cardiovascular disease.
Inflammatory conditions have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, and certainly inflammation can also be associated with osteoporosis. So that is a possible relationship.
A big advantage of this study is that it improves our understanding of the unique factors driving heart disease in women, which could lead to tailored treatments based on gender differences.
One of the challenges with heart disease in women is that most of the studies to date have been done on men.
A strong link providing new clues
on how we can better detect and treat these conditions.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Weather now, here's Bertie.
Thanks for that, Maxie. Hello, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic Friday. The weekend looking absolutely stunning. Let's jump straight into today's temperatures where it hit. Reached 27 degrees for Ipswich, 13 to 26 in the city, and highs of 26 across most of the coastal regions, 25 for the Gold Coast. To the charts now, we can see that high pressure system moving through the central interior. That's making its way towards the eastern seaboard, bringing stable weather to us. Dry runner weather through till mid next week. Then you see that little trough behind the high. That's going to bring a cooler change and some possible showers to us mid next week. Most likely Tuesday evening, definitely throughout Wednesday. Around the nation for tomorrow, we're going to see partly cloudy conditions for Sydney, 15 to 25 degrees. Mostly clear for Canberra, 20 degrees. A few showers for Melbourne and 20 as well. Back to the tropics now, partly cloudy start to the weekend, 29 the high for Cairns, 16 to 27 for Townsville, 14 to 26 for Mackay, looking great. Further down the line now, we're going to see some pretty good conditions around the Wide Bay Burnett regions and Capricornia coasts. 27 degrees the high there for Gladstone, dropping down to 26 at Hervey Bay, 15 degrees overnight, 12 to 22 on the range at Towards Toowoomba. Roma down to single digits overnight, 9 degrees, highs at 26. Back home, partly cloudy conditions, great start to the weekend, highs at 28 for Ipswich due to that northwesterly wind, bringing a bit of warmth like it is at the moment outside. 16 to 26 Redcliffe and 14 to 27 Logan. On the water, west-northeast winds, west turning north-northeast sea breeze in the afternoon. Got that one wrong. Seas 1 metre. Basically, the further you go to sea later in the day, north of Point Lookout, a bit bumpy. South of Point Lookout looking okay for the afternoon. 16 to 27 in the city, mostly sunny. Again, looking good for a day out for a coffee in the Sarts. And of course, looking ahead now, tops of 27 degrees on Mother's Day, 16 to 28 on Monday, 16 to 27 on Tuesday. Cool change on Wednesday. In Ipswich now, we're going to see 27 degrees on Sunday, 13 to 28 Monday, 12 to 27 Tuesday. The Gold Coast, we're going to see 16 to 26 on Monday. Cool change on Wednesday and 23 for the Sunshine Coast. Similar, dry through to Monday. Partly cloudy on Tuesday, showers moving Wednesday. Let's check the waterways for tomorrow. On the surfing scene, ideal conditions at the moment. Plenty of crew out there getting shacked by those right-handers off all the points at the moment. Absolutely gorgeous conditions for those keen to get out there. Water temp 25 degrees. Swells east at 10-second intervals. All open stretches worthwhile tomorrow as those west-northwesterlies continue to blow through. There's going to be a pretty heavy crowd out there as well, so definitely get out there nice and early. Get your posse and enjoy. TR West, the bomb at the moment, outside Point to Noosa National, worth a crack. Now offshore, the wider you go, the choppier it'll get. It'll drop off as the afternoon progresses though. In close will be great. Kingfish and snapper about at the moment. Thank you, Sea Probe Charters. The pressure's awesome for those back inshore. The barometer's reading right. We should see bream whiting and flathead being caught in great numbers. Also a few tuskies and squid in the main channels. Good luck, everybody. And the Eta Aquarid meteor shower tomorrow morning, 2:30 a.m. to 3 a.m. Max, I know you'll be getting home then. Look up in the sky and you'll see the stars falling, my friend. Look great.
You read me too well.
Have a good sleep in. Yeah. And that is all from us this Friday. Thanks for your company.
Updates throughout the evening. But for now, from all the team, have a good night.
Good night.